You? Speak German? Don't make me laugh. Prove it. The words fell heavy in the restaurant, slicing through the hum of silverware and quiet chatter. A wealthy guest lounged in his chair, smirking as he looked up at the young black waiter. The challenge dripped with arrogance, his voice loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. The waiter's name was David. His jaw tightened, but his face remained calm. All around him, diners shifted uncomfortably, their eyes darting between him and the customer. The air felt thick, as if the entire room leaned in, waiting for him to stumble. But what they didn't know was that David had spent his whole life preparing for this moment. David grew up in a small, cramped apartment on the outskirts of the city. His world had always been noisy neighbors arguing through thin walls, sirens wailing in the distance, the grind of survival pressing down day after day. His mother worked double shifts just to keep food on the table, and there was rarely time for dreams. Yet David dreamed anyway. In a corner of their apartment sat a small, battered bookshelf filled with secondhand books from charity shops. Among them, tucked between old novels and worn encyclopedias, were dusty German grammar books and language tapes. They were relics from another family who had moved away, but for David, they became treasure. At night, long after his mother fell asleep from exhaustion, he would sit at the kitchen table with a notebook. He traced words again and again. Guten Tag. Wie geht es Ihnen? He whispered them softly into the dark until the sounds became familiar, until they belonged to him. While others dismissed him, he pressed forward. He learned not just the words, but the rhythm, the culture, the music hidden in the syllables. German became his secret world, his escape, his hope, his proof that he was more than what the world saw. So when the customer mocked him in that elegant dining room, David did not hesitate. He drew a breath and answered in flawless German. The words poured from his mouth with clarity and precision, smooth and confident, each syllable sharp as glass. The restaurant went silent. Plates paused mid-air, jaws fell open, and the smug grin melted from the customer's face. Whispers rippled like a wave. Did you hear that? He speaks German! Heads turned. Even those who didn't understand the language could hear the authority in his voice, the music of mastery. But one man in the corner did understand. Marcus Langford, billionaire and global business magnate, had been dining quietly that evening. To the world, he was a tycoon. Towering buildings bore his name. Newspapers chronicled his every deal. But behind the wealth, Marcus had never forgotten his own beginnings. He knew what it was like to be doubted, to be overlooked, to have people laugh at your potential. And as he watched David, something stirred in him. He didn't just see a waiter showing off a skill. He saw resilience. He saw dignity. He saw a man who had forged strength in silence and carried it with unshakable pride. Marcus leaned forward, listening closely, his mind already made up. The night ended, and the last guest trickled out. David began clearing tables. That's when he noticed an envelope resting where Marcus had been sitting. His name was written neatly on the front. Inside was a ticket, a plain ticket to Berlin, and beside it, a handwritten note. The world will doubt you. The world will try to silence you, but your voice carries power. Use it, learn more, grow stronger. This is not a gift. It is an investment. I believe in you. David's breath caught. His hands trembled as he held the ticket, tears blurring the words. No tip could have meant more than this. It wasn't about money. It was about being seen, recognized, valued. Months later, David stepped off a plane into the crisp morning air of Berlin. The city unfolded before him, streets alive with voices. Words he had once whispered alone in the dark, now surrounding him like music. He spoke with confidence, no longer hidden, no longer doubted. He carried the note folded carefully in his pocket, a reminder that someone had looked past the uniform and seen the man beneath. And in that moment, David knew greatness is not about where you begin, but about who believes in you when the world does not.